Attention gamers, what if I told you that according to math things the most optimal build in League of Legends is to start with this blue support knife and then to contact Dorn and get a bulk order on his rings, one for each finger. You would probably say if you wanted to hear someone talk out of their ass you'd just fart, and trust me, it attracts the ping flame like a virgin magnet from all the greasy finger MOBA fire meta following mouth breathers that play this game. But I've recently discovered this theory behind item gold efficiency, which breaks down basic stats into a value per unit, ignoring passive effects like these, and then applies it to all items in the game. And after the boring calculation explanations are done, you can sort by efficiency to see that support items take the cake on most bang for your buck. Then of course there's the Oran buffed mythics, which we will exclude unless you have an obese molten ram that you duo with, until we see that the most gold efficient item other than the cocaine Nikes is this finger bling, which I guess means that its stats give you the most value per gold. And as a cheap poor man who can't stay monetized for more than one video at a time, I figured why not try to see if spending my first few Rift paychecks in the most cost-effective way could get me an advantage early enough to get the whining crybabies who play League on the other team tilted enough to give up before I have to sell my rings, which obviously would make the whole experiment pointless, and let me say, it worked better than you would think. So I had the build ready. Now all I had to do was decide which champ I would play and we would be set. You see, in the theme of rocking a data boner on my build this game, I decided to go full nerd virgin and make an algorithm that would tell me the perfect champ to play in every lobby. You see, it analyzes millions of data points in real time depending on my team selections and the enemy team selections, and then does some Elon Musk math to recommend who I should play based off of synergies and counters, and thus we going Anivia in game 1. Then I figured I would just scrape the web to find guides that won tricks and coaches posted on that champ to give me the best build, but here's where I went full blown Michael Reeves with the code. I parsed these guides and made them create in-game overlays that give me live tips and reminders as I play to keep me focused on the right things instead of distracted by the dumbass things my teammates are doing. At that point it was easy to source live build recommendations based off of what's going on in the game, so why the hell not? Now I may have lied about making what I just showed you, as the last time I tried to code something myself my computer sounded like it was having an orgasm until a nerd mentioned something about an infinite loop, but everything I covered still exists and is totally free using zar.gg, today's sponsor, so try it today and take advantage of the hundreds of custom-made real-time in-game tip-feeding guides they offer, and let's get into the games. Alright, so for the recommendation I was playing Tony the Tiger's Frosted Flakes Hawk in game 1, and I figured if I shat a fat frozen turd wall behind Jackie Sparrow it would fluster her, but anyone with that champ design knows dashing in like a dumbass will work, so I lit her on fire, stun her, sit her down, burp her, you name it. But along the way Draven messed up the juggling routine, which meant he'd be taking a nap while I finished the job. Then I just peaced out, because anyone who actually wears one of those hats from Finding Nemo on Ice is clearly a psychopath, and I didn't want to be alone with that. Then I decided to come mid, because according to arcane meta, watching Vi beat up shitters turns you into quite the killer, as I opted out of chasing pussy to save Pink Floyd, which long story short gets me in an awkward situation where I'm not first to small talk with a win shitter, but eventually I get a handle on things. Plus my ADC's older brother came down with the intention of getting the kill or flaming anyone else who struggled for it before he arrived, I guess. Anyways, I'm all for taming Charizards today until I get a hunch that a big kitty be coming for dis titty, which ultimately means I will just be chilling back in the Anivia pre-patch, letting this OnlyFans sub spit on me for free until I finally birthed myself out of said egg and fired a crystal shiv up Tabby's turd pipe for the kill. But this chaos thus far earned me 3 slays and the title Lord of the Rings, which didn't go unnoticed by their team's airbag, but I was now focused on using this gold efficient build to find Nemo, block her and Blizzard on her glizzy, throw some weaponized tic-tacs at her, and then wait for Ignite to go to work for me and bring back some money. This left just that gold coin chucking chick alone to play the fun game of trying to murder my blue midgets without me treating her coldly, quite literally, which turned the whole dive into something that looked like 2 drunk hoes trying to hump a doorknob, plus glitter tits, and her fucked up Finn was back, but a Tyler 1 flash plus a clench of the ass and we were out. I then decided to grace mid lane with my support kill stealing presence, and any noob in a Nemo hat that got in my way would be wishing there were less frozen, which long story short pissed off the pirate enough to think that attempting to turn me into an egg would teach me a lesson, but she decided to be a dead bitch instead, and thanks to my early aggressive gold efficient build, these kids were begging to get out of game 1 the second they could. Game 2 I figured I would play the Star Spangled Titty Laser, and this was just a fail compilation, starting with my Callista merging spiritual assholes with someone else right in front of me on what should have been our special day. Then my first roam up to the middle lane has me slobbering like a Saint Bernard until dashing Darla decided to deprive me of that too. And when I immediately came back to prompt her defense reflex of farting a fat purple smoke ring, things were going well until the concept of cooldowns gave my Raven fetish Gramps over here a case of the fat blue balls. This started a 4-star GTA pursuit, but my jungler was busy too focused on setting up a super silver dive and failed in claiming this free sack of cash. I eventually shined lights in her eyes myself, but if you were wondering about how the super important tower dive when the large brain did something very small brain, and then our heroic jungler learned the hard way not to go back to that particular barber. But I had 3 rings and was ready to turn the tides by tying up glow in the dark Obama and then rift clit riding my way into proc my passive. This was enough to get their attention away from whatever weird shit they were planning on doing with that dragon as Project Beedrill tried to hop and chomp my ass only to be left feeling quite tired. I hung out behind the action like a ballsack on a P-Hub video before sniping a kill and hitting quite the freaky flash away from Professor Akali's plans to call me an e-girl, throw me in a thumbnail with an ahegao expression and steal my views, but not today, Kevin. I'm now feeling pretty good about how this is going, but sure enough, the cheating whore who stuck her spear up someone else's butt at the beginning of the game had to question my jewelry purchases, so I told her it's optimal, and then I put my money where my pink baton twirling mouth was by star banging the bitchy bride and then whipping out the titty laser to finish her off myself. And come to think of it, when she left me to deal with Cosmic Bowling Alley Lucian's glow stick temper tantrum, I handled that with my troll build as well. At this point I'm playing a little, but do not fear, eventually the old married couple would be here. Turns out we've deployed a little bumblebee infestation in their neck of the woods, which is funny, but it's only a matter of time before a ticked off PMS prom queen tries to stop it, and that's where I came in to defend my title of the best binder in town. You may notice some of my rings are being sold at the pawn shop because the game was beyond 20 minutes, so I had to resort to buying the next most gold efficient items on the list, and I honestly just wanted to show them off to this sickle slut, but of course Riot had to give her 6,500 freaking hops, drops, dashes and flashes, so we entered a painful memory where I was blindly following Tarzan's wife into the forest that someone should have been more concerned with warding, but I had backup this time and she was clearly doomed. Callisto was remaining consistent in demonstrating what using condoms when fucking cousins prevents, while I was enjoying the gold efficient benefits of not being able to get one tapped by this pissed off praying mantis, so I let them tickle me for a bit, then I flash fire up the laser before giving the disoriented beat up beetle directions back to base. At this point I had the great idea to call the boys over for a super surprise party despite not checking it for cameras.
It was at this moment that he knew.
At this point I had the great idea to immediately go straight back to doing the thing that just got me and my friends killed, because I am a league player and learning lessons is not something we do. So 2 for 2 front loading my build with all gold efficient items, meaning it was time to try this on a real support. Now full disclosure, when I play this mute harpist something comes over me and I feel myself becoming just the worst piece of shit teammate you can possibly have as I transform into a player that I absolutely would flame if they were on my team, so you've been warned. But in this particular one I wasn't a fan of my teammates either, starting with this hula hooper who wasn't very welcoming of my presence at level 1 as she would rather go back to killing NPCs that don't know how to fight back, but I knew this was a pick and I was committed to playing blue songs to this lab rat, but I guess Kiki did not love me and would rather play single player league in this one. So I went top, because why the hell not, only for King Spin to win, to not know how to make enemies do the choke chicken emoji, at which if we were to fast forward through some mute asshole clenching you'd see wasn't a great experience on my end, until raw unadulterated silver elo stupidity ended up making it all worth. My ADC is rightfully angry and asking when I will be coming back to bed, so I come and even start to take out the trash on my way before trying my best to let her get the credit for doing that chore, but towers are selfish assholes sometimes. I head back mid because this Kiana's gameplay looks like something I drew with my left hand, so I know she'd be in need of saving, and let's just say thank God I was there to try and steal her kill on that one. But then straight back bot, because being outnumbered and having little clocks chucked at you sounds like a bad dream, and this is precisely when I become the villain in this one, where I feel the need to publicly address my behavior and end up getting ripped a new asshole for issuing a shitty YouTuber apology and a moist critical video. But it'd be hard to act like I didn't plan to steal kills when I was rocking Dark Harvest on this cotton candy flavored Sona. Killing was just in my nature. That said, I've been where this area is, Having a roaming kill stealing bed curtain flailing fuckboy as a support, so I felt the need to give her some positive words of affirmation to hopefully lessen the tilt of what I was causing. But that didn't stop that unevolved ape of a mid laner from pointing out my finger bling, which after watching her gameplay I can only assume the flame was out of jealousy because she herself doesn't have any fingers, but at least I was already on my way mid to pick something up, so I figured I might as well learn the chords to the gold song and then play it with the blue one for this bomb rat. Then I messed up big time by heading top and letting the steel ninja douche dash through both of us, which welcomed Clock Cock to the party, and yes, the outcome here was horribly bad, which was obviously my build's fault in the matter, with nothing to do with desk popping your undying orgasm a good 6 seconds too early, because as he would later learn, using that at the right time would open up opportunities for me to make a bad guy dance in the danger zone. Side note, we did all get shit on, and despite the game literally being even, leave it to a league player to want to quit and call everyone gapped instead of not giving up in a close game, but I wouldn't let Debbie Downer Zed distract me from using my gold efficient cone of cold item to kill off the clock. Plus, why would anyone playing against this Ziggs feel the need to forfeit? But I rest my case. One more disgusting subhuman kill steal where I cosplayed all league content creators by blaming something that was intentionally my fault on right, then add a dog and a drag to the deceased list. Flame the Zed publicly for trying to give up a game that was in fact free because you are petty, and there you go. 3 for 3 in building gold efficient items. Now go ruin your ranked games and get flamed by trying it out yourself. Rav out.